Welcome to Coweta Schools Game Day, where we highlight the student athletes and athletic programs in the Coweta County school system that bring so much excitement to our community throughout the year. I'm Hap Hines, principal of the Central Educational Center, also known as the CEC. This program is being brought to you by the video team members here at CEC through our school system's CCS TV YouTube channel. And today we're bringing you all of the action from our high school football season. We'll take a look back at Northgate's win over Griffin and their upcoming homecoming game against Central Carrollton. Undefeated East Coweta wins against Sandy Creek and now heads to Lowndes. And we'll take a look at Newnan High School's September 8th victory over Hardaway and their upcoming matchup against Paulding County. We'll bring you the action and clips from Friday's games and talk about the players and coaches with Northgate Vikings head coach Mike McDonald, East Coweta head coach John Small, and Newnan head coach Chip Walker right here on Game Day. So stay with us. We're back now with head coach Mike McDonald of the Northgate Vikings. Thanks for being here, Coach McDonald. Coach, we're 3-1 with a great win over the Griffin Bears in convincing fashion. Tell us a little bit about the game Friday night.
Well, I thought we practiced well last week. You know, good Monday, good Tuesday, good Wednesday, good Thursday, and that led to a good Friday. You know, did some good things and got back on the right track. And you know, I've been going to Griffin a long time, playing. You know, there in the '80s, God, that was our big rival. Right. So it's always good to go to Griffin and play at Memorial Stadium and come back with a win, Coach Hines.
Right. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Tell us what some of the big plays were, some of the plays that had a big role in the momentum changes of the game.
Well, I think, you know, we received the ball, and third play of the game, we put in a little, called it bear, put in a little
how fitting
tight end wing set for them, and ran a little pin and pull scheme with Evan. You know, we call it was Baylor for buck sweep. That's our vocabulary is Baylor for buck sweep. So kind of put that in. A third play, Evan goes 62 yards.
Wow.
So that kind of got us, you know, started on the right foot, and from there we, you know, played well on defense, and offense controlled the ball. We didn't throw it a whole lot, but we were really controlling the line of scrimmage, and you know, shortened the game down, and you know, played well on special teams. At times we gotta work on kickoff coverage, but other than that, you know, it was a good night.
Well, Coach, we're 3-1. Still got a little bit non-region play to go here, but the kids have got to be feeling really good about where they are. You know, and just a yard or so away from being 4-0. And Coach, you're at number 98 on the win total. I know you never want that to be revealed, but I'm going to celebrate what a wonderful job you've done. Let's take a look at some of the big plays there Friday night on our big play board.
You're going to see us here. Dylan Barber comes out. I thought he did a good job right here. He looked backside. They covered front side. Here's Colin Meehan there, and there you go. That's the play we talked about.
That Baylor play.
Yep. Again, we put that in. We thought it was going to be a good play, and it was. And you can see Evan takes it down about the 3-yard line, and we're going to come back and run counter, and that's Evan getting it in the end zone there. It's going to put us up 7-0. Here we are, throw it out to Colin Meehan. Good block by Josh Veen right there. Good job by getting vertical there by Colin. You're going to see us on defense. That's Jaden Middleton and Marcus Barnes on the sack right there. You're going to see a great play right here by Willie linebacker. Bryson Davies punches that ball out, causes that fumble, and Keaton Stegall recovers it. Right here, you're going to see Evan again. We run counter again as Y counter.
I keep seeing just all the yards that young man gets after contact. Very impressive.
They're trying to run counter, and again, you see Bryson Davies and his brother and a bunch of other guys in on it. We're going to try to run waggle here, and they get a little pressure, and he does a good job. He's a good athlete. He takes off with it and gets it down inside the 10-yard line, and we run a little quarterback power play. Put that in last week as well. It was good for us. Again, running counter there, and Amir Hopper and Cade Bates and those guys up there do a good job. And Trent Gordon right here comes up on the quarterback, pulled the ball on the zone. and he's going to knock that down. Trent played well again for us. Here's Josh Veen on the speed sweep. We call it Air Force, and good tough run right here. You're going to see some of the offensive linemen continue to push him there. Back down on the goal line, and you're going to see Bryson Logan.
Right up the middle.
Yeah, we're going to run Duke right there. So inside duo play. Come back with a quarterback, and you're going to see Bryson Davies there on the tackle. Again, they're trying to run the jet, and Cade Bates gets back there and blows it up. Jake Anderson right here comes in and hits a field goal. I believe that was right before
It's just
half.
gotten so muscle memory for that kid. It just looks so smooth.
And first play of the third quarter there, you're going to see Jaden Middleton causing that fumble, and Trent Gordon jumps on it. So that was good to start the half off that way. And you're going to see Evan again. We're going to run Duke kick, and Evan's going to put it in the end zone there. And Easton Metz comes in, and he's going to hit our tight end Bryce Oswald.
Great throw by Easton.
Yep. Good throw there, and we're going to pitch it out right here to Mark Hall. Mark's going to pick up the first down right there, and we got to play a lot of folks the other night. And this is actually Malik Dixon.
Counter.
Yeah, Malik, sophomore for us, done a good job.
Well, Coach, anytime you go into Griffin and get a big convincing win like that, let me tell you, historically, those aren't easy to come by. Griffin always has a lot of talent, a lot of athleticism. That's a great win for your program. Like I mentioned, I talked about the big play board with the highlights, but what were the names on your big play board for the game?
Well, we had most hits this week. We had a tie. Defensive end Marcus Barnes, and also linebacker Jaden Middleton. Big play goes to Marcus Barnes. Defensive end, he had 3 tackles for loss, Coach Hines. We had a hammer this week. We had a guy with 2, and as our running back, Evan Garrett, he did a great job of leading out there on
It's fun to watch.
the Air Force play and really blocked well. So Evan had 2 hammers. Takeaway, we had the fumble recovery there by Keaton Stegall and also Trent Gordon. Highest grade O-line this week goes to Trey Gaddy. Highest grade defensive line goes to our nose guard, Amir Hopper. And then highest grade secondary goes our free safety, Keaton Stegall. And then highest grade linebacker this week goes to outside linebacker, Trent Gordon. Our meanest Viking, we gave it to our center, and Trey Gaddy. Racehorse again went to Evan Garrett. Our air Viking went to Colin Meehan this week. Game breaker, we talked about that. It was the third play of the game. Formation, like we said, was Bear, and the play was Baylor, and we busted it for 60 whatever down to the 2 or 3. Spirit ball went to our running back as well, and Evan Garrett, he was fired up the other night.
That's easy to believe.
Yeah,
there, Coach.
he was excited. The kicking game goes to the extra point field goal team. Captains for homecoming this week will be offensive lineman Malachi Mitchell, running back Evan Garrett, defensive back Mason McKnight, and nose guard Amir Hopper. Player of the week this week goes to our center Trey Gaddy, and scout team defense this week is inside linebacker Walker Johnson. He's coming on and doing a lot of good things, and boy, he gave us a great look last week, Coach Hines, on defense. And then on offense was a little running back, Malik Dixon we talked about. And again, Malik's a sophomore too, and he's really coming on, and he did a lot of good things for us. So that's the big play board versus Griffin.
That's awesome, Coach. And like you said, you were able to get some young guys in there, get them some experience, and you could see just that counter run, I believe, by Malik, who, I mean, kids are buying in, looking great. Coach, we've got undefeated Central Carrollton coming to Valhalla this week.
Yeah.
Tell us what to expect from the Central Carrollton Lions and how excited your kids are about this matchup.
Well, they're explosive. You know, I think the lowest they've scored, I think, was 34, 35 points. So they've not been in a lot of close games. So we're going to have to try to keep it close. They're real explosive at running back and quarterback. And then you got some receivers you got to deal with. Defensively, they fit things very, very well, and they play extremely hard on that side of the ball. So it's going to be a challenge for us. But, these next 2, before we start region, they're going, we get to kind of check our oil a little bit and kind of see where we're at. And then hopefully it's going to help us as we get into region play,
Well, Coach, like you said, the kids are playing hard. When you look at the season, we're 3-1, going into a big non-region game this week. What are some of the things that you're really just most proud of as coaches, as players, where you are at this point in time in the season?
Well, just the hard work, of course, the hours the coaches put in, and the kids too. And we say it a lot as coaches, and it's become a year-round sport, and it really has. But our kids really bought in. And again, I'll say it, we finished strong last year, and I think that led into the off-season, which led into spring practice, which led into summer practice and into camp. And the attitudes have been good, and we understand how to practice, and our guys, they believe in that because our coaches believe in that. You're going to play the way you practice.
Absolutely.
And thought we got back to that last week and did a good job, and it showed on Friday night.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we are super excited about this week's matchup. It's big, two big-time programs going at it, and we're going to be excited, looking for a big win there Friday night, and congratulations to where you guys are this time of the season, and looking forward to a big win Friday night, my friend. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I just want to say it's homecoming this Friday night, so hopefully have a lot of people there at the game, and it'll be a good environment.
Homecoming, big-time region, non-region coming in undefeated. This is going to be a great atmosphere. We're looking forward to it, Coach.
Thank you, Coach Hines.
And with that, we'll be back more with Coweta Sports Game Day. Welcome back to Coweta Sports Game Day. And this time we're here with head football coach of the East Coweta Indians, John Small. Coach, your team just took down state-ranked and state power Sandy Creek for the second straight year. Tell us all about it.
Well, great opponent coming into Garland Shoemaker. Our kids were excited about playing. It was senior night. We got 25 outstanding young men that our kids and fans got to celebrate, and then they went out and played for one another like they have been, and just you keep growing together as a team and responding to adverse situations in the game, and really proud of their efforts. And we're able to come out on top against a really good football team. So very proud of our coaches, our players, and our community.
Absolutely. Coach, we are now 4-0 and on a roll. What are some of the things that are really starting to stand out? What led to such a great win Friday night, you think?
Well, I think it's just their mindset, the way they approach every single day. We didn't have the greatest week of practice last week, but they found a way to come out, and the lights came on and they played hard, and I didn't really know what was going to show up Friday night. But we got to fix that during the week, but they come out and they play for each other. I think one thing I really love about this team is when one guy makes a play, he's not the one celebrating. It's the other 10 guys on the field celebrating that one kid. So a lot of unselfishness, a lot of selfless guys that are more concerned about their teammate and playing hard for each other, and it's been awesome to see.
Awesome. Well, Coach, there was a time in that game where Sandy Creek, for a little bit, you guys jumped out on them, and then they kind of made a little bit of a run and tried to see some momentum, and then just like that, your kids said, not going to happen, not on our watch, and shut the door and took a drive the next series, scored, and then just finished it off. What does that speak to the character? Tell us about that and what that speaks to the character of your team.
We talk a lot to our kids about responding, not reacting. Reacting is reacting out of emotion. Responding is seeing what you got to do and go do it. And so they responded, and that's a situation in the game that we saw some of the stuff that their coaches are preaching to them of responding, becoming a man, and growing up, and not worrying about what just happened, but let's focus on what we got to do to get better. So really proud of that, because you're seeing some of those things, the maturation process happen with this young team. So it's been fun to watch.
Coach, they look like they're getting better every game, and a lot of confidence too. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a great group. Let's look at some of the highlights from Friday night.
Okay. The special teams has been a strength for us, especially with Brock Belden handling all our kicking duties for us. They had two great returners, and he worked all week on putting that ball away from them.
Gosh, he is a weapon.
He is. We pinned one there, but we talk about effort on special teams, and here's a 0-0 ball game. There's Keaton McNutt, Jaden Abrams, Lucas knocking the ball loose and got us the ball there for a quick score. And then Brock was, I think he was 4 for 4 on extra points.
It's just muscle memory for that kid.
Yeah, and he's just got ice cold water in his veins. And here great coverage here by our guys. Josh Anderson, who's a 3-year starter that plays special teams and defense, just gives unbelievable effort. Here on offense, I mean, they're on defense. Aiden Cagle, Tyler Horsley, Tyler Cobb, that front, they had a huge responsibility Friday night against their running game and the running quarterback, and I thought they did an excellent job and executed the game plan. Here's Aiden Cagle and Lucas Knockin and a ton of Indians around them. And then we were able to flush him out of the pocket, come up and get him on the ground, and that was the goal the whole night.
And they had
Don't
quite
let
a
him get
quarterback
going.
too. Yeah,
They did. He's an electric player and rushing and throwing, but really proud of the effort our kids put forth on defense. And here's Dylan Holston, a sophomore starter for us that picks a ball off here in the fourth quarter, which was a huge play when they had a little momentum. Then on offense, this is Deontay Jones here, who had a big night for us with, I think, 137 rushing yards.
Wow.
And then Darrell Thompson, who's just been a bulldozer of a runner, just a physical kid, really has grown up and matured. Our offensive line does a great job this game of creating holes. In fact, our hog of the week was our whole offensive line, all 5 of those guys plus the tight end. We get backed up here on the 2-yard line, and Deontay Jones breaks it for 98 yards.
I've got to take a
outruns those
bet
guys.
that's probably a state school record right there.
If not, it's close. Can't be but one more yard if it's not. So that was a huge play there because they pinned us down there inside the 5 in a punt-safe situation. Cohen Peoples continues to get better every week.
Boy, is he looking great.
Throwing the ball. Here's a great throw and catch to Seth Gritton. Didn't know if we'd have Seth this week. He had a little banged-up knee, but he came out strong. And then here's him connecting probably his favorite target right now, Deshaun Horsley, who had 2 touchdowns on the night. Little scramble drill
Wonderful.
there.
That's great.
And then he comes back here and makes another throw to Seth Gritton, who picks up the first down, a big play right there on 3rd and long. And then he makes another throw to Seth Gritton, and he almost breaks it here, but gets tackled, gets us down there in the red zone. And then a big dose of Darrell Thompson again. You can see he punishes guys when he runs and they don't want to tackle him. He's going to make a throw here to Deshaun Horsley on the play action, and he's wide open behind the safety. So
what's amazing is your kids just look like they're having fun. They're getting better each game. The buy-in's there. And now a huge test in taking your kids down to South Georgia. And the neat thing is that people need to know your program and your kids are accustomed to these types of environments. And they go into these kind of games expecting to win. And I know Lowndes is going to be looking at a little bit of a revenge factor from last year because when they came up here, we put it on them. But I think just where the program is and these kind of environments is exactly what your vision has been. And it's so exciting to be able to have an opportunity. Tell us what to expect as we head down to South Georgia versus the Lowndes Vikings this week.
Well, anytime you go down to South Georgia, you're going to play in an unbelievable environment. The Concrete Palace is where they play at, and it'll be probably 15,000 to 18,000 people at that ball game. Be a long trip down there on a bus. Be different for these kids because they've never done it before. But you're right. The expectation we play is the environment may change, but the expectation doesn't. So we're approaching like a business trip this whole week, and when we go down there, because it ain't going to be no fun to drive back 4 hours after getting beat. So we want to go down there with the right mindset, and I know our kids will. And I'm excited to see them play in that type of environment because those are memories these kids get to keep forever, and it's great.
Any information you've got for EC Nation in terms of the travel, what time y'all might be getting out, head on down? It's a long travel, but you'll get there in time and all that. Anything you want, we make sure we've got a huge fan base coming down. Any information for EC Nation?
Kickoff's at 8 o'clock. There'll be tickets on GoFan, or you can buy them at the gate. They're celebrating their senior night down there, so I hope they can enjoy the entertainment at the beginning, but I hope we take care of business during the game.
Big crowd.
But we're heading out early and have our game day routine that we'll do during the day, but I know we have a big fan bus going down from the parents. We got unbelievable parents. They've rented their own charter bus to go down there, and there'll be a group of them coming down. So we're going to have some Indian supporters down there, and we're excited to see purple overtake that maroon stadium. So
I can't wait either. I'm planning to make the trip myself. Coach, what a great win Friday night. I know your players had some big plays. let me kind of backtrack real quick. I want to hear about, what that big play board was for you guys, the names that stood out and the people that are really making a difference in your program, which it sounds to me collectively it's every player on that team.
It is, and the good thing about it, we vote on this as a staff on Sundays when we meet. It's not one name being thrown up there for each thing. There's about 7 or 8 names that we got to vote on, which that means a lot of kids are contributing. But our City of Hope defensive player of the game was Lucas Knockin. He's a junior linebacker. Our City of Hope offensive player of the game was Deshaun Horsley, a senior receiver.
Really proud of him.
Our City of Hope special teams player of the game was 2 guys, was Brock Belton, our kicker, and Keaton McNutt, who's a 5-star snapper that's going to Auburn University. And our hog of the week was 5 offensive linemen and a tight end, and Zach Clayton, Courtney Hurd, Ashton Sample, Cortland Hurd, A.J. King, and P.J. Clennon. And the 2 Hurds are twin brothers, so they're sophomores. The Georgia Farm Bureau Player of the Week was Darrell Thompson, our running back, junior running back. Our scout offensive player of the week was Andrew Schock, continues to do a great job for us. Our City of Hope defensive scout player of the week is a guy that plays on varsity that just gave a great look. So they're contributing.
Is that not body team?
Oh, it's unbelievable. So that's Terrence Ware. And then a kid that's a sophomore that just gets better every week. Our scout special teams player of the week is Carson King. So really proud of those guys and the effort that they give, the selfless effort that they give. They're about their team, so very proud of those guys.
That's great. Coach, is there any doubt you guys aren't going to be wearing the black pants this trip? Or you just tell EC Indian Nation you'll find out when you get to the game?
You'll find out when you get to the game. Our kids have picked what they want to wear this week, and they're the ones playing. It's about them, and I tell them as long as you're doing what you need to do every day, you get to make some choices, and they've done that. So we ain't too bad in white on white either. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds good to me, Coach. This is great. It is a great time to be an East Coweta Indian. Super excited about this big time matchup. Just the experience and the expectation. Like I said, the expectation does not change. And Coach, I remember, when I was athletic director several years ago, I want to think this was back in 2019, when Lowndes came to us for the first time. And I remember the conversations we had, together about, and you telling me I've got to make the schedule this way. I've got to. It is going to pay off. It's going to get buy-in. It's going to toughen these kids up to where they expect these kind of environments, where they want these kind of environments. Yeah. And I remember walking off. I was escorting the officials back to the car after that game, and one of them just said, "Your program is getting better." Those kids played their tails off, and that was kind of right. That was kind of an aha moment for me because they had played so hard. They didn't win that game, and then of course, a few years later, Lowndes came to Garland Shoemake Memorial Stadium, GPB TV, and you beat them, and now you're undefeated going into that matchup this week, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. Looking forward to great things, Coach. Congratulations. Can't wait for Friday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And with that, we'll be back with more Coweta Sports Game Day in just a few moments. We're back at Coweta Sports Game Day with my good friend and head football coach of the Newnan Cougars, Chip Walker. Coach, great win Friday night. Coming off a bye week, we want to hear all about it.
Hey, it's always good to get a win. There's no doubt about that. And guys went out there and took care of business, 21-0 over Hardaway. So anytime you can get a shutout too, that's also big in high school football nowadays. Shutouts are a lot harder to come by than they used to be.
Absolutely.
And so we were proud of our guys over there. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we still got to work on and things we're going to go back and clean up this week. But it's always easier to clean stuff up after a win than it is after a loss. So we're excited.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach, y'all, like I said, we were coming off a bye week. And, obviously you guys used it to your full advantage. What were some of the things you really wanted to focus on during the bye week, get you prepared for Friday night and such a good showing?
Well, I think first off, foremost was just being physical and getting after it. And I thought we did that. We ran the ball really good, much better than we've run it earlier in the year. We defended the run much better, which is also big. And then just having fun, playing football. I thought our guys did that for sure. They went out and enjoyed themselves. And so those are the things we really talked about that we wanted to get better at. And, again, we made some mistakes, turned the ball over way too many times. But, as I said, we're going to be able to build off these things with a win. and get ready for region play.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I know we got region play coming up, and you've been preaching it. And like I said, with that tough non-region schedule, I think it's going to be really, really beneficial for the team going into region play. But looking back Friday night, let's take a look at some of the highlights here as we go into it.
Sounds good. We'll start off and go and get Porter Child. I think that's his first varsity catch. He's going to take it and run. And here we talk about that defense. You know, a couple weeks ago we talked about Jeff Baggett and all what he's done as a team player. Really good tackle by him right there. Cam Johnson over there playing corner had a whale of a game. Did a lot of really good things. We're going to keep going. There you got, I know we've talked about the neighborhood connection before. And
I always try to make a point to get over there and say hey to Gus every time he drives by, but he is really playing some good ball.
He is. And then Antavius Berry had a really good game, ended with 20 carries for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns. I put this little highlight on there because I wanted to make sure everybody got to see Ethan Devers. He has kicked every kickoff in the end zone all year long.
Coach, you know how I feel about that, especially.
That's a big weapon for you when you're able to.
You got to go 80 yards.
Yeah, you got to go 80 yards. Again, there's the defense. Some really good. There's big Roger Florence, who's a big sophomore, clogging that middle and making a really good play. Defensive guys. Again, I think we held them to about 50 yards rushing. There's Zacharian Tucker with a big sack, and you see some guys. You're gonna see a lot of blue. You're gonna see a lot of blue hats around the football on defense, which is big for us.
Coach, they're really swarming there, and like you said, execution on offense just looks real crisp.
This is one of the better executed plays. That's Hayes to Gus on a little simple outcut. With the timing of it was basically perfect.
He zipped it.
And it was a really good throw, really good catch. One of our guys, there you see Caleb Reed, who had a really good game. They're going to throw that little screen out there, and
great pursuit.
Caleb's going to turn around and chase it back down the line, which was huge for us. Gabe Petro, maybe the smallest defensive tackle around, but he plays with a huge motor, gets a big sack right there. We were really proud of him. Watch this when we talk about guys swarming. There's going to be this one and one more. You're going to see a bunch of blue hats running to the football for sure.
Mm-hmm. Coach, they're having fun. They're getting better, and I think, like you said, just to see each week, and that's a tribute to you guys as coaches.
Yeah, little Sean Greer right there, another sophomore that. Ended up having a really good game with a big carry. Antavius for his second rushing touchdown of the game. He's a senior who kind of got banged up a little bit in the Sandy Creek game and fought an ankle for a couple weeks. We completely held him out of everything for 2 weeks leading up to it. Here's one. Watch this. You see him coming from everywhere.
Just great pursuit, all inside, outside.
Josiah Smith, another sophomore that was there with a big tackle and did a great job. Watch the timing right here between Jeremiah George and Brody Campbell is really good.
Those young QBs, they can just flat out spin it.
They do a really good job. There is no doubt about that. I think this is Antavius on the 3rd touchdown. He's going to get in the end zone and for the hat trick of touchdowns for the night. So it was really good.
Coach, really, really, really good to see you guys. Like you said, you can tell the bye week is playing dividends. Your kids were hungry. They're flying around. They're having fun. The buy-in's there, and like you said, just great job Friday night.
Well, we appreciate it.
Looking at your big play board, what were the names? Kind of some statistically, maybe that stood out on your big play board.
Well, our player of the game this week is going to be Caleb Reed as a defensive end that. We challenged him a little bit after the first 2 games, and he ended up responding. You saw him chasing down some plays and doing some good things. Special teams, Ethan Devers averaged about 40 yards a punt. Every kickoff was in the end zone. All his extra points were good. Antavius Berry, our skill guy of the week on the offensive side of the ball, 20 carries, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns. The offensive lineman, Javion Hinton, a 10th grader, he's like those offensive linemen you want. He's got a little nasty streak to him, and he did a really good job.
I agree.
Our defensive player of the week, Cam Johnson, had 3 pass breakups in the first
he was
quarter,
flying
flying
that
around,
place.
did some really good things. And then our Cougar Culture Award goes to Gabe Petro. He just, he plays extremely hard every play. Had a big sack that you saw, did some good things. The big hit, Josiah Smith, another 10th grade linebacker that had probably his best game of the year as well. And then our 2, we call them Echo Awards on offense and defense, kind of our scout team guys. Because when, in practice, if we want to run it again, we say Echo. And these guys make our first team guys do it again on offense.
Awesome.
It was Colton Dodds, and on defense, it was Emmanuel Ward. So, those guys had good weeks of practice, and we want to make sure we recognize them as well.
Coach, that's awesome. Like I said, great team win there Friday night. Coach, it was senior night. When you look back on this group of seniors, they've been through a lot with having to work their way through a pandemic, having to work their way through kind of a unique school situation with the tornado. What about the senior? What is it about the senior class that really sticks out to you that makes it just a special group?
Just their resiliency as a group. A lot of folks probably don't understand this, and this is a senior class that never had one normal day of high school at Newnan High School, and it's going to be about a 9-year span from the time all this started to the time all of this ends, where every kid in that school has a normal school day, and this group of young men and just the senior class in general never had one normal school year. And of what you go back and you look at the history of Newnan and how special Newnan High School is, how special our community is, and for this group not to experience that one nothing just normal. They've really stuck with it. They've worked hard, and we're really proud of them.
Well, Coach, that's a tribute to them. That's a tribute to you guys as coaches. Let me tell you, not many people know that because you guys, you don't complain and you don't throw it out there. You just go, you show up, and you try to just squeeze that lemon and make lemonade. And
a lot of folks won't know that on Wednesday the power was completely out all downstairs in the whole football facility. There was no power anywhere all day long. They had to bring in and hang temporary lights in the locker room so our guys could get dressed. So, a lot of folks around the state don't really realize a lot of the things that are going on. But those guys and our coaching staff and our teachers and our administrators, they're making school happen and they're making school be successful every single day.
Absolutely.
And that's been awesome.
Well, Coach, I think you need to find time to sit down and have lunch with Clint Eastwood. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. What's that? Heartbreak Ridge.
There you go.
And you guys could write a book on that. But no, Coach, that speaks volumes, and just all that involved. That's a lot, and it builds character. And just to see, the kids getting better week to week. Great job to what you guys are doing, what you guys are instilling, Coach. We like we've been saying, we go into region play now, and all that we're just trying to get to 1-0 in region play. That trumps anything non-region. Tell us about going to Paulding County Friday night.
Well, obviously, as you said, we've talked about first region game at the end of Friday night. There's going to be 4 undefeated teams, and there are going to be 4 teams with 1 loss in our region, and we want to be one of those teams this 1-0, and that's as good as you can be in region play after 1 week, and that's going to be our goal. It's a game last year that we felt like we ended up letting slip away. We fumbled one, they picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown, which ended up being kind of the difference of the game. Right. And they ended up 4th, we ended up 5th. So it's one that we need to get off on the right foot.
Awesome.
And get a win. They're a talented team. They've kind of been, they've played a good schedule and kind of had some tough luck as well, but they got a lot of talent. So we're going to go over there and be our first official road game of the year. And so we're looking forward to it. I know our guys are going to be excited about playing again.
No doubt. Coach, we are all excited. And like you said, there's nothing anybody can trade non-region play to be 1-0 in the region. And like you said, I know any Chip Walker coach team is going to go in there guns blazing. We're excited. Can't wait to see the big game Friday night. Go get them. We're pulling for you all the way, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. And with that, we'll be back with more Coweta Sports Game Day in just a few moments. That will do it for this week on Game Day. Thanks to all our head coaches and best of luck to all our Coweta teams this weekend. We'll be back with you throughout the year highlighting the great action on the fields and in the gyms of the Coweta County school system. Don't forget to like and subscribe to CCS TV. It helps to get the word out about all the great happenings throughout our school system. I'll see you soon.